up?
All right, chill.
Sin City Sportscast
Yes.
episode 5.
Okay, yeah. I think we decided on 5.
Yeah. We filmed one, but it was the day before free agency dropped, so we made predictions, and then the next day everyone was elsewhere.
Exactly.
So, but I feel like from our predictions we were pretty accurate.
Yeah, I would say so. I think we had like a good idea of what was going to happen. I think everybody had a good idea
Yeah,
of what was going to happen.
There were a few bombs, but
Yeah. I think only Woj bombs are probably, Kawhi.
the Kawhi PG thing, that
Yeah, the PG thing. That, like, Kawhi was going somewhere in California, but it was just the media that kind of, disproportionately covered any idea of Kawhi going to Lakers.
Well, I read that he was very strongly considering the Lakers, but then once Magic leaked that they had that meeting, that was kind of like a for sure, nah, I'm good here.
Like, I also, contrary to that, I heard, people in Kawhi's staff said that it was like a laughing stock that the idea of going to LA was even a possibility because he would never choosing going to LA.
That's pretty funny. I also read that.
Yeah, so it's it's really weird because
the Lakers are set on the fact that he held out so long just to miss them from getting other free agents.
And then he was like, I was never thinking about going to the Lakers. I was only thinking about the Clippers if I was going to LA. And then people were just crazy.
He restored balance kind of back to the NBA. That and KD going back to the East or going to the East for the first time.
Yeah,
we're now kind of going to enter an era of duos, which I think will be pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
And
that's been the whole narrative.
Just off this list right here, there's about 10, 12 duos that could really start to shake up.
For sure.
The NBA.
I think it's going to be cool seeing this new narrative of how basketball is kind of transitioning into away from super teams, thank God, Bless up.
Everyone has a chance.
I think this is going to be probably one of the most watched regular seasons in a long time because people are interested in what their team's going to do now because the league's open for somebody to take the title at this point.
I know, and I think the next 5 years come playoffs and especially in the finals, we're going to see a lot of different teams kind of going at it because there's so
it's
many.
It's going to be so fun.
There's so much that can go on and so many duos that can improve and some that might not work. So I guess kind of the big thing right now is now going to be the LA feuds, which I think is going to be every game in Staples Center between those two.
Oh, it's going to be insane.
It's going to be like the playoffs.
Oh,
every
for sure.
single game.
Yeah,
you have
absolutely.
a duo of Kawhi PG with Lou Williams, Pat Bev.
Yeah, they had that one rookie last year that went
Montrell Harris. They got Zoo.
They're gonna have a lot of pieces.
They're gonna do.
The Lakers have some depth from what the rosters are showing.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about. As much depth as you can get for their situation.
Yeah. So who did LA get? They got AD, Jared Dudley.
I couldn't even tell you who they all got. It's a completely different team. From
AD,
last year.
Jared Dudley, Danny Green. They re-signed Caldwell Pope. They cannot let that dude go.
Yeah, for sure.
They refuse to just let him go, let him walk, do something.
Yeah.
He is not helping the team at all.
So all these duos, we could talk about them all day, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff to talk about.
Are there any that you're excited to see next year or curious about? I'm curious about James Harden and Russ.
Yeah, that's probably going to be one of the biggest ones that people are talking about just because the possibility for them to be insane is it's really probable.
Yeah. Especially just having that childhood background. I don't know how many people know, but they've known each other I think since they were 10ish.
Yeah,
so they played a lot of basketball together. So I'm hoping they can both. I don't think one of them needs to change their attitude to the game. I think they both need to for them to be really successful and to
for sure.
make a deep run in the playoffs. Because you just people didn't think James Harden and Chris Paul could work,
which they really didn't.
I would say on the contrary, they did that first year. They took Golden State to 7.
I don't know.
Without a healthy Chris Paul, who wins that series? It's a coin flip.
It's the same thing with the year before when Golden State played the Spurs, or a couple years before.
Yeah,
when
you're
Kawhi
right.
was on there. It's if Kawhi stays, what could have happened?
You're right, but
no knock to either of them two. Chris Paul is. He's always been kind of the problem child in any team over the last few years just because, his whole career, he's never made it out of the Western Conference, or he's never made it to Western Conference Finals, right?
He made with Houston, he did, but that was that one year.
Yeah.
He's obviously in his prime, and he's always going to be known as an elite point guard, but I think we're now reaching a point where he's aging and his contract's a lot of money, and he's not putting in the work for his contract.
His whole career he's had some type of issue that's negated his ability to play basketball.
Kind of like a Melo?
Yeah, exactly. And so I like discredit to him as a player because he's going to be a Hall of Fame point guard for sure, but I wouldn't want him on my team.
Yeah, me neither. But like,
especially with Mike D'Antoni as your coach. Mike D'Antoni is the same way with coaching in the league. It's like somebody who's decent and very good and probably going to go down as one of the better coaches in history. But like, what did he do?
He's all about offense.
What did he do?
He got people MVPs. Yeah. That's it. He's got to pray. He's got to pray with everything in him that James Harden can bring him a championship.
Yeah,
because isn't this is it, right? Didn't he sign?
I'm sure something like that.
I think he negated contract extension, so I think this will be the final season you see D'Antoni as the coach, unless they make a deep run or whatever. Kyrie KD has the potential to be exciting in Brooklyn.
That team was already good last year.
8 seed, D'Lo.
I mean, what was expected of them last year?
Nothing.
Exactly. So I mean, for them to even make the playoffs, that was pretty big for them. They lost D'Lo, but they gained
Kevin Durant,
probably
Kyrie
a better
Irving,
point guard than
DeAndre
D'Lo.
Jordan.
Yeah, I mean the Nets will be.
Can you run that back real quick? Did you just say probably a better point guard than D'Lo? Kyrie is 100% a better point guard than D'Lo.
I mean, not the way D'Lo played last year.
Well, he's just going to be a different type of locker room.
If you put D'Lo in his form last season on the Celtics instead of Kyrie, they beat the Bucks. They go into 7 with the Raptors.
They don't
Are you
beat
kidding?
The Bucks.
You're not serious.
They don't beat the Bucks.
Oh my God.
They don't beat the Bucks. After this, did you watch that? After what Giannis did and after what Chris Middleton had Kyrie just had a bad few games, dude. It wasn't just him though. It was the whole team that was playing like garbage.
Yeah. I don't know. I think
Kemba will be a lot better in the Celtics mentality and their locker room presence for them. I think him and Tatum or him and Jaylen Brown kind of have a potential to excel at a duo if they can. Obviously, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are going to need to step up big time this year to fill in the shoes that they lost with Al Horford. I definitely think the Celtics are going to feel that for at least the first few weeks.
Yeah.
Al Horford's not a big numbers guy, but he made the impact on the court that needed to be made. I think the East and the West are going to be really interesting next year. I mean, in the East, we just talked about the Celtics. You have the 76ers just signed Ben Simmons to a 5-year, $170 million contract, which...
Yeah, I mean,
I got nothing to say to
most
that,
people
man.
Most people that know basketball have the same opinion about Ben Simmons. Is that potential is there, but are the Sixers developing him enough and focusing on the right positions
it's not
for
even
him to
the
be
Sixers. Is he himself
I
developing?
mean, I think it's definitely the Sixers. If I understand as a player, you have the ability to go out and train on your own, but if the team needs to have a core focus on you getting better in specific positions. So obviously shooting is what everybody talked about for the summer, for him to come back in the next season, have somewhat of a decent jump shot. But I mean,
he won't.
Joel Embiid, I feel like he's not progressing like he should be.
What?
No, Joel Embiid came into the league as a powerhouse for sure. Maybe he's gotten a little bit better the last couple seasons.
I think he's made way more improvements to his game than Ben Simmons has.
Okay, yes. I thought you were about to say somebody else.
No.
I was going to say compared to Giannis, who is a comparable player, maybe not in play styles, but as a big,
but they came in
ball control player.
Yeah, they came in very differently. Embiid came in already a pretty big guy, so you can't. Giannis was little when he came into the league.
Yeah, but it's just about the progression and getting better.
Yeah, Giannis's progression. I think that's. I don't think we've seen anything like that in a very long time. He definitely has that Kobe work ethic in the sense that every single day I'm going to get better.
And that's why he's always going to be better than Joel Embiid.
He won MVP. I feel he got up on stage and he said, "I'm not even at my full potential right now."
No, for sure. I think that Joel Embiid doesn't have that. I mean, I'm not going to say that because I don't know him, but I think he needs to
have that killer in him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Joel Embiid is going to turn into like a Karl Anthony Towns where he's great,
Kobe wouldn't
but
have
he can't do anything. You know, he's not going to embrace a huge player role and be determined to win.
I think Cat's kind of I think that's
we already talked about that.
That's a pretty low way
He's soft.
to. Well, I just think that's a pretty hard way to hit Embiid. I think he can be in between Cat and AD.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
I just don't. What I'm saying is I don't want him to turn into a Cat type player over the next few years. Like I want him to continue to go deep in the playoffs like he's been doing.
I also don't think him and Ben Simmons work together. They clog the lane for each other. With Ben Simmons not having a jump shot, he's in the lane more than any point guard in the league.
But you can't do that.
Either change positions. You do not need to be 6'10" running point guard because you're going to wear your body out.
Yeah, for sure.
And like, dude, just get a jump shot.
That's kind of the whole situation for the East right now is Bucks. I mean, the 76ers.
From what I've seen, the Sixers are now favored to win the East. My only hesitation
I don't know how they're going to do it.
From being a team in the East, who's going to shoot the three for them?
Yeah.
You have 5 guys who are okay, or 4 guys that are okay from the three, and one guy that can't shoot.
They lost J.J. Redick, their best shooter.
To the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Who we'll talk about them. Yeah. But you have a starting 5 of Ben Simmons, who can't shoot a three for his life.
Tobias Harris is
Tobias Harris, who's an average three-point shooter.
Overpaid.
Big time.
Joel
Embiid, who is an average three-point shooter. You have Al Horford, who's an average three-point shooter.
Oh, yeah, I forgot they got
who's that fifth man?
I'm looking at it right now.
Trying to think of who it is. Who their shooting guard is.
Josh Richardson.
So I don't know what his three-point is, but
it's going to be interesting to see how their team just works out. It's like who's good in the East? The Raptors aren't nearly the same team.
Well, the Raptors, I guarantee you the Raptors dropped. If they don't scoop someone to fill in that void, even with all their young pieces developing,
they're not going
to. They won't. Yeah, they'll be like a 5 or 6.
The only reason the Celtics are going to be a top 3 seed next year, no offense, is because the East is terrible.
Okay, but Kemba's also a good point guard, and we have good pieces on our team.
Yeah.
The Cantor, I can see that. Not like I wasn't the biggest fan of that pickup, but if the potential for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are both there, they just need to get there
for sure. Like,
because they'll both be stars in the league in 5-10 years. You need to get over that jump from.
The Heat could be a decently high seed next year for whatever reason.
I wrote that. Yeah, I said Miami. They added Jimmy. They didn't really lose anyone beside Hassan, who wasn't really playing for them anyways.
That's enough. So 2 teams this is the 2018 standings
Detroit.
that I'm looking at. But I think that it could go. As much as it sucks, but 76ers at the 1. So Sixers, Celtics.
You think both them finish higher than the Bucks?
No. I take it back. I didn't see that. So the Bucks,
Sixers, I don't think the Bucks lost anyone besides Mirotic, who went to play in the Euro League.
I think the Pistons, I think the Heat, and I think possibly the Bulls and Pacers could go between the later seeds.
I think the Pacers are going to be at least a 4 or 5 seed next year because
I can't
they
even
just
say that.
finished.
I forgot to even say the Nets.
Well, they finished a whole season without Depot. So
yeah.
And they took LeBron to 7. Now his Cavs cast was pretty garbage, but the previous season.
Teams that used to suck are like the Bulls are looking good and the Magic are looking really good as well.
The Pistons picked up D Rose. They kept B Griffin. They
almost made the playoffs last year. They were I think they were 1 game away from the Nets making it into the 8th seed.
Right there.
Well, this was
that's the year before.
2 years ago.
Gotcha.
So if I go to this season, they were right there. Or the Pistons.
They made it and they got knocked. They got swept by the Bucks in the first round.
That's right.
But yeah, Miami, Detroit, Magic, the Bulls. Yeah.
And Knicks, everybody's saying that Larry Markkinen is going to be an all-star next year.
The Knicks had an awful offseason compared to what they could have done, but they got good pieces. They got Julie. Compared to we were just talking about how bad the East is. They're better than the Cavs. They're better than the Hawks. They're better than the Wizards next year without John Wall full season.
For sure.
They could sneak into an 8 seed.
No. You still have... I mean,
they're better than Charlotte.
Yeah. Charlotte's bouncing back. The Wizards are back. The Hawks are back. But you still have the Bulls, and you still have the Heat.
I'm just saying they could be a sleeper.
Yeah.
Is that all the East duos? Giannis and Middleton, but
we don't need to touch on that stuff.
Middleton.
We'll see how that pans out.
Middleton has the potential again, but yeah. But moving on to the West, I think the West is going to be really, really exciting next year, as it is every year.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy season.
I don't know if we did talk about Brooklyn in the East. I think Brooklyn will scoot in somewhere. Without KD, they're not going to. We just watch what happens when Kyrie's the leader on the team.
Yeah, we'll put out like a definitive list of what our predictions are for next season. We'll probably post them somewhere just so we kind of have
when the free agency is done. Let's wait until I think all the big moves have been made. But so in the West, just to list teams off, you have the Lakers, the Clippers, Portland, Houston, San Antonio. They're never going to miss the playoffs as long as Greg Popovich is alive.
Yeah.
And they just added Tim Duncan as an assistant coach. Beautiful move. Denver, Utah, the Pelicans are exciting, and Dallas. The Suns never do anything. The Mavericks.
The Grizzlies are going to make the playoffs.
No, they're not. They lost Mike Conley, who they had.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I would take it.
T-Wolves.
He went to the Jazz. That's right.
Let me say this one time. Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns are the softest people in the NBA.
Yeah.
The Kings lost Cauley Stein, who went to the Dubs.
Yeah, there was a lot of movements just of like small players that are kind of big role players for teams in the West.
Those 8 teams right there, you take out the Thunder and you add in the Pelicans or Dallas, and that's your 8 teams right there.
I don't think if Kristaps Porzingis can come back and have an above average season. I mean, he was an all-star. Yeah, so if he can come back and get an all-star,
we haven't seen him play in
3 years.
No, it's like a year and a half.
No, it's been longer than that.
It's been a year and a half.
2 seasons.
He got injured right before All-Star break. Not this past season, the season before that. Exactly. So a year and a half.
Yeah. So that's a big deal. That's going to be
I think him and Luka can be very exciting.
For sure.
They don't have DeAndre Jordan anymore, who they didn't have mid-season.
I think the Mavericks have the opportunity to be really good if the Kristaps, which they're putting all their money into, can come out and just be the same all-star that he was before.
Or even a little less of an all-star because now they have Luka.
I think that team could just be, crazy.
I think the Jazz are going to catch a lot of excitement next year with Mike Conley going there.
I think that Mike Conley is going to try to take this opportunity and win something. I think he's been stuck on the Grizzlies getting bounced in the first round
for a long time.
5 years.
And we obviously it was just a regular season game, but I think going back that game we watched him ball against Portland, that dude's potential in a big market.
You're saying Mike Conley.
Yeah. Is insane.
So we'll see how that goes.
I forgot they got Tim Hardaway too.
Yeah. The thing is, Tim Hardaway Jr.'s kind of also been just floating around the league. He's always been, a starter ever since he's been on the Knicks. So, he's just been kind of like
the Mavs will determine. The Mavs' success will really come down to the role players and just see how well they can step up.
Do they have anybody injured? I feel like they had more pieces than that.
Because Luka and Kristaps can't. They had Dennis Smith Jr. They traded him to the Knicks. They had DeAndre Jordan. They traded him to the Knicks.
Yeah, man. I feel like if they kept... I wish they kept Dennis Smith Jr., man. He was a good piece.
That's, again, the Knicks. He'll be a little sleeper.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I wish the Mavs had a couple extra pieces, which, I wouldn't doubt that they make some more moves by the end of the summer because I'm sure they want to try to make the playoffs knowing Kristaps is coming back.
I think the team I'm most excited to just see next year...
The Clippers, for sure.
Well, no, just... Like the team, the Clippers are going to be good.
Oh my God!
The team I
hope that they are so good.
The team that I'm really interested to see how this plays out. 'Cause it's going to go one of two ways. Is the Pelicans?
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a very, very interesting starting 5. I think what the Pelicans did with Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah, that the whole
their offseason was insane. To have a player who wasn't a free agent come out of kind of the blue and say, I demand a trade, and then just to have all the drama that followed it, and to turn that player into, I want to say 13 guys total with draft picks included.
Yeah, all their transactions this season literally built them for the
Lonzo
next 10
was
years.
a beautiful. I personally think the Lakers.
You like Lonzo.
I didn't when he entered the league. That's the thing.
I definitely gained respect for him for sure. And yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
I think the Lakers should have moved Kuz and kept Lonzo because I think Lonzo's the perfect point guard LeBron needs.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that for sure.
Like Kobe had Derek Fisher, who was a pass-first point guard, played great defense.
Who's Steve Nash the shooting coach for? The Warriors, right?
The Warriors.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So
for some reason I thought it was the Lakers.
Watch out for D'Lo.
Yeah, no,
I think the Warriors turning Kevin Durant into something. And not just losing him and the full potential. For sure. D'Lo, when Klay comes back, Steph, Klay, and D'Lo, if they're ever on the court at the same time together,
that'd be a pretty saucy team.
That's insanity.
That's a saucy team.
And they got Cauley Stein to replace Boogie.
I mean, just to put it out there, I mean, I know we don't really like talking bias towards teams, but Blazers.
I got
Blazers.
Portland on here. They got Hassan.
Trying to just stay conservative about the whole situation. They have a lot of potential.
They lost Cantor. They added Hassan. That's a step up.
Huge step up.
Huge step up. Do you know the turn when the center's supposed to come back?
Nurkic?
Yeah, that was a pretty rough injury.
I mean, I'm assuming it's probably the same timeline for Gordon Hayward. So after All-Star break.
That's unfortunate.
Which I don't
mind
that.
Playoffs, right?
You got Hassan. That was in the. Oh yeah, I think it was right before playoffs.
Right, I think it was one of the the last 10 games because I remember you texting me.
For sure. No, if his timeline is to come back after All-Star break, I mean, I don't see how we don't make it back to the Western Conference Finals. To be honest with you, I think.
What if you get one of the new West teams in the first round?
I think we can.
You get Lakers, Clippers, Houston.
I think
in the first round, you win that?
If the Lakers don't add any more pieces, I think we can take the Lakers.
I really don't think the Lakers are going to
add any more pieces.
Be insane anymore. Well, it's just if you're the Grizzlies and you're in the same conference as the Lakers, why would you buy Andre out and send him there?
I don't think Dame's ever played against Kawhi in a playoff, to be honest with you, now that I think about back in history. I think maybe one series, that might have been it.
But he's not playing against Kawhi in the playoffs. He's going to be playing against Patrick Beverley.
Yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, like just on the same court together in a playoff situation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would match up. Dame can play defense when he wants to, same way LeBron can, same way Russ can.
Yeah. I don't think you'll get one of those teams in the first round because I think the top 4 are going to be Lakers, Clippers, Houston, Portland.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be a great season next year. That's all we can say, really.
I mean, not to step you back, Denver took y'all to 7 games.
I know, but that was...
You had a fully healthy lineup besides your center.
Yeah, Dame dropped off after the first round against OKC. Yeah. So
you want to talk about a shot ruining an entire franchise?
Oh yeah.
That shot over OKC.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it.
I think he's going to realize that he sucked after the first round of the playoffs last year.
I hope so.
He's going to need to step up. I mean, same thing with Kawhi. After he was playing super good up until the finals.
Okay, but you carry your team 3 rounds. Yeah. You can't do it anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're I get that. Unless you're LeBron, you're Kobe, you're Jordan.
I think for Dame to get the recognition that he wants so bad is he needs to show out and just play consistently.
Well, yeah, especially after the whole Shannon Sharp debacle.
So we'll see how this whole season goes next year.
It's going to be an interesting one for sure.
We can probably wrap up the episode, in all honesty.
We want to talk about Tyler Skaggs real quick and all that. No?
Yeah, that's gonna bring a depressing
if you guys didn't see it, just go look it up. We won't really talk about it. All the coincidences, it's bigger than sports.
Yeah, for sure. There's a lot of stuff going on around the league, and it's good to pay attention to everything for sure. So this is the end of episode 5. We'll have this posted for the next couple of days.
6 will come sometime. You're away for a week, so
yeah, hopefully soon. Honestly, we can
as
do
long
some
as
more
we have
debates
stuff
and
to
stuff
talk
like
about.
That.
Will
There's definitely a lot of stuff to talk about.
Keep
to be honest,
rolling
for sure. All right, well, thanks for watching.
Thank you guys.